All right. 2.04 is the pre-writing process to your research paper. And returning students, you will see that this is very familiar to you. We did this in quarter one. If you did not do it, then you will need to do it now. So 2.04, gather and organize. Here's what you need to do. First of all, you have to choose one of the inventions from below. That's what your research paper is going to be about. Are you going to choose the automobile? What are the effects of antibiotics? Solar power? Cell phones? Effects of video games? You get to choose your topic. Basically, what we're looking at is what your invention has impacted society. What are the positives? What are the negatives? So if you're going to do, I'm going to just do this first one. I'm going to go ahead and copy it. So I copied it and I'm going to put it down as my topic. And then it says we're going to read through the article that is linked. So every one of your topics has an article linked. That's going to be your first source. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my first source here. It's going to make me make a copy, which is not a problem. And boom, here's my article. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read through this. All right, whatever I learn from this article is basically what I want to write down in my informational research chart. So not only do I need to know the when, the why, the who of my invention, but I need to really think about what are the positive effects, what are the negative effects of my invention. And then it says explain, so I need to give some evidence. Let me give you an example. I'm going to pretend that I read through this. And one of the things that I'm noticing right off the bat is most of the world's automobiles run on gasoline, which is made from petroleum. Oof. I know that that could be a negative effect. The fact that automobiles run on fossil fuels. Which damage the environment. Okay, so there's my first one. Now what I'm going to do is in parentheses behind that piece of information, I'm going to write a number 1 because that's my first source. So let me go ahead and just copy this link for my first source here because that's where it's coming from. All right, so I'm just kind of keeping track of where my information is coming from. And I want to keep it linked so that I have it all on one sheet, all on one document. And I'm going to bring over this piece of evidence. The fact that so many countries are dependent on petroleum imports. So I'm going to just bring it over. Whoops, I didn't even copy it. Let me go copy it. Copy. And I'm going to say something like, all countries are now dependent on petroleum imports. And again, I'm going to use number 1 behind it because that's where I got my first piece of evidence from that article. So in your article that you get, you're going to find some positives, you're going to find some negatives. Let me see if I can find another one real quick. Oh, here's a positive. It says something to the effect of automobiles have had the greatest effect on people's lives. Foods arrive fresh. Products are distributed quickly and inexpensively. I'm going to use this as my piece of evidence. Right there. So I'm going to just do a copy. And again, this is a positive, so I'm going to put it in here. But this is my evidence, so I'm going to write it here. And again, I'm getting this from my source number 1. And my positive effect is that automobiles have greatly impacted human lives, making it easier to get materials. Now, you can change your spacing up if you want to. I'm going to put a little 1 next to that. Perfect. So your goal, everybody, is to come up with at least 2 positives and at least 2 negatives of your invention on society. Let's say that now you've read through the entire article that was linked above. You can't really find anything more. Like, for instance, I didn't find anything about the when, the why, the who of when my automobile was invented. You'll notice that I also need to find some positive effects. That's when I can now go outside on the internet. So I'm going to go to Google and I might type in who and when was the automobile invented. So you can go ahead and Google search as well. Now remember, this first part is not a site. You have to actually go to the site. So I'm going to go to the website, click on it, and that's where I can find my information. Oh my gosh. Look at this first automobile. Oh my gosh. What a looker. Looks like it was developed by Carl Benz. It's a 2-seater. And around 1879 is when I'm looking, 1886 by the first patent. So this is good information. I'm going to bring it back to my document. So here I have 1886. Oops, that's not even right. 1886. Now this is going to be from my source number 2. And the guy was Carl Benz, as I learned from my source number 2. So I put a little 2 next to it. And maybe I can read more to find out why he invented it from this one website. I'm not going to do that on my video here. But what I do want you to do is whatever site that you use, go ahead and copy the address and link that down below. This was my source number 2, so I'm going to put it in as my source number 2. All right, so you're going to continue to fill in your chart. Maybe now you need some more positive and negative effects. Maybe it's going to require a different type of Google search. So maybe what are the positive and negative, if I could spell, of the automobile? Well, again, I might choose to use this site, but again, there might be something better down below. So stay away from Wikipedia. This might be my 3rd site that I use. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use that. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to put it as my 3rd site. Now, if you need more sites, because let's face it, you might not be able to find everything on just, 3 sites. You can certainly add more if you need to. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to read through this. This one might be my 2nd negative, traffic accidents. I'm just going to go ahead and write that as my 2nd. Just as one more cause traffic accidents. That's going to come from my 3rd source. That's why I put a little 3 next to it. And maybe I can go and get some information. They're dangerous to the passengers and pedestrians. Oof. Many pedestrians dying each year and others being injured. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Notice that when I copy it, I'm using part of it. I'm using part of those words, but I'm actually writing it into a sentence so that it makes sense. automobiles are dangerous to passengers and pedestrians and cause many injuries and deaths each year. And then again, I'm going to put my little 3 next to it. So your goal is to use as many resources as possible to help you fill out this informational research chart. All right, go do it. If you have questions, let me know. Oh, I should say, especially for new students, when you're done with it, make sure you click on the share button and then share it with your teacher, which is Andrea Conrath. So go ahead and write in Andrea Conrath and you will see my name pop up there. Awesome. And then you can turn it in a buzz. You got this. Thanks, everyone.